Grandma was helping Katy plant some seeds in the garden when it started to rain. "Oh, good," said Grandma. "The rain will make everything grow." "But what shall we do now?" said Katy. "Let's go to the gallery," said Grandma. "You always have fun there." When they arrived, Grandma sat down to rest, so Katy went off by herself to look around. The gallery was full of warm, sunny paintings. Katy liked the painting called Sunflowers by Vincent van Gogh. The sunflowers looked dry and crunchy and were full of seeds. "Perhaps I could grow the seeds in the garden," said Katy. She slowly reached out to touch them and found that they were real. But Katy knocked the vase. It wobbled and fell right out of the picture, spilling sunflowers and seeds all over the floor. "Oh no," said Katy. "I'd better clear this up before anyone sees." Just then, Katy heard someone laughing. She looked around, but there was no one else in the room. The laughter was coming from a painting called Breton Girls Dancing by Paul Gauguin. "What's so funny?" said Katy, climbing inside. Katy saw that she was on a farm. The girls, who were called Maisie, Musette, and Mimi, giggled and pointed to the mess in the gallery. "You'll be in trouble if anyone finds out," Mimi said. "Well, I didn't mean to knock over the vase," said Katy. "I don't suppose you could help me clear it all up." "We're too tired," said Maisie. "We've been dancing all day," said Musette. "What about you?" said Katy to Mimi. "Only if I can bring Zazu," said Mimi, picking up her dog. "I suppose that's all right," said Katy. "Let's go." So they went through the frame and into the gallery. Mimi and Katy gathered up the sunflowers, but Zazu wanted to play. He snatched the sunflowers and ran off with them. "How can we put the picture back together now?" said Katy crossly. "I'm sorry, mon ami," said Mimi. "Let's try to catch him." They chased Zazu, but he was too quick for them. He suddenly took a flying leap towards a painting called Café Terrace at Night by Vincent van Gogh and disappeared inside. Katy and Mimi jumped in after him. Zazu refused to let go of the sunflowers. He darted in and out of the tables and chairs, knocking plates and cups flying. Then Zazu ran between the waiter's legs. "Zut alors!" said the waiter, dropping a plate of cakes. He was very angry. He chased Katy, Mimi and Zazu right through the frame and back into the gallery. "What are we going to do?" panted Mimi. "I've got an idea," said Katy, pointing to a painting by Paul Cézanne. It was called Apples and Oranges. "Come on, I need your help." Katy put her hand into the painting and grabbed one of the end of the cloth. She told Mimi to hold the other end. "Now pull!" yelled Katy. The bowls of fruit tipped over and apples and oranges came tumbling into the gallery just as the waiter caught up with them. He slipped on the fruit and spun around until he was dizzy. "Zut alors!" he cried. "I wonder where Zazu went," said Mimi. "He must be here somewhere," said Katy, as they dashed away. "Hélas," said Mimi, "I shall never find him, and he'll be lost in the gallery forever." "Nonsense," said Katy. "I can hear a dog barking." They followed the noise, and there at the end of the corridor was Zazu. He had dropped the sunflowers and was barking at a bright red dog in a painting called Tahitian Pastorals by Paul Gauguin. The other dog barked back and Zazu jumped inside the picture. "Your dog is nothing but trouble," said Katy as they clambered after him. Zazu and the red dog barked and played. "Welcome to our island," said two women. It was very peaceful, full of scented lilies and blossom, with the sea lapping on the beach. "Phew," said Katy. "It's very hot here. Let's go for a paddle." While Zazu and the red dog ran about on the sand, Katy and Mimi splashed around in the sea. Zazu was busy digging a hole when, all of a sudden, he disappeared. "Where has he gone?" said Mimi. Katy looked into the hole. It was very large. Right at the bottom, she saw Zazu sitting on top of a big chest. Mimi and Katy slowly opened the lid. It was full of gold coins. Pirate treasure, said Katy, showing the women. What will you do with it? We don't use money on our island. We have everything we need, they said. You can have it if you want. Katy took a handful of coins and thanked the women. Then she, Mimi, and Zazu went through the frame and back into the gallery. Katy quickly picked up the sunflowers before Zazu could grab them again. We'd better put these back, she said. Which way is it? I'm not sure, mon ami, said Mimi. I think we're lost. Then they saw Zazu sniffing at something on the ground. Sunflower seeds, said Katy. Zazu's left a trail of them. What a clever dog. I'm glad he came after all. Mimi gathered Zazu up in her arms and they followed the trail of sunflower seeds back to Cézanne painting. They carefully put all the fruit back and then went onto the cafe picture by Van Gogh. The waiter was there with a bill in his hand. It's for the cakes and everything, said Mimi. Katy dug in her pocket and took out the gold coins. Is this enough? She asked. Merci, he said, looking very pleased. You may eat cakes here whenever you want. And he climbed back into his picture. Then Katy and Mimi followed the seeds back to the sunflower picture. Katy collected a few seeds and put them in her coat pocket. Then she carefully put the sunflowers back. Almost as good as new, she said. Thanks for coming with me. I'm glad I did, mon ami, said Mimi. It was fun. And she hopped back into her picture with Zazu. Katy ran off to find her grandma, who was just waking up. Shall we see if it stopped raining? Grandma said. It hadn't, but Katy didn't mind. Rain is good for the garden, she said. It will make everything grow.